Ministria e jashtme e Kosovës Gërvalla. Ministria e Punëve të Jashtme dhe Diasporës Donika Gërvalla po e përfaqëson Kosovën në Këshillin e Sigurimit të OKB-s. Ajo i është kundërpërgjigjur profesuesit serb për emërtimin e vendit i cili sipas tyre quhet Kosova dhe Metohia. Gërvalla tha se me këtë emër nuk ekziston asnjë vend në botë. Nuk ka vend në botë në këtë glob që quhet Kosovë dhe Metohi. Është Kosovë, Kosova apo Republika e Kosovës. Do të ishte njëjta gjë që sa herë ta përmendu Serbinë të filloj të quaj Kalevin apo në ndonjë emër tjetër, por nuk do ta bëj këtë gjë, tha Gërvalla. Ajo vazhdoi fjalimin e saj duke thënë se presidenti i Serbisë Aleksandar Vučić nuk e ka problemin me asociacionin, por sa të shqetëson vetë ekzistenca e Kosovës. Gërvalla duke folur në Këshillin e Sigurimit të OKB-s ka thënë se të gjitha pretendimet e Serbisë kinse për shkelje të drejtave të minoriteteve janë gënjeshtra të kulluara. Ta sqarojmë një herë se nuk ka asnjë vend në botë që quhet Kosovë e Metohi. Ka Kosovë, Kosova apo Republika e Kosovës. Të mos besohet asnjë nga gënjeshtrat se kinse qytetarët e Kosovës nuk kanë qasje në shëndetësi, arsim dhe llogari bankare. Realiteti është i qartë. Përfundimisht qytetarët po marrin frymë lirshëm dhe pa frikë nga bandat kriminale, ka thënë Gërvalla. Gjatë adresimit të saj në mbledhjen e Këshillit të Sigurimit të OKB-s për Kosovën, kryediplomatja kosovare Donika Gërvalla ka thënë se sulmi terrorist i 24 shtatorit në Banjsk, ku vra reshteri Afrim Bunjaku, ishte test për perëndimin, test për ato që pritet të vinë. Sulmi i Serbisë më 24 shtator të vitit të kaluar është planifikuar si invazion ushtarak dhe aneksimi i një vendi paqësor me mira trupa të NATO-s. Për ta bërë të qartë këtë, ky ishte sulmi i parë i aleancës së Putinit ndaj një vendi me prezencë të NATO-s, është test për perëndimin, test për ato që pritet të vinë, tha gjatë fjalës së saj shefja e diplomacisë kosovare. Tutje tha ajo se Vučić dhe Putin nuk janë dorëzuar. Ajo i ka quajtur si kryeministrin serb Miloš Vučević, zëvendës kryeministrin Aleksandar Vulin, anti-perëndimor dhe pro-rus. Prandaj na duhet sëmbrapsja atyre pikë së pari dhe pastaj dialogu. Vetëm me sëmbrapsje të tillë mund të kemi paqe e siguri, sepse kur Vučići e Gjuriçi e të tjerë në Serbi thon dialog, nuk e kanë këtë në mendje. Nuk kanë ndonjë interesim në dialog, thjesht kanë interes të shkatërrojnë Republikën e pavarur të Kosovës dhe atë me forcë. Askush nuk mund të mashtrohet. Kjo është dëshmuar tashmë dhe do ta provojnë prapë. Kështu Kosova është falënderuese për NATO-n për ngritjen e numrit të trupave për ta sëmbrapsur Serbinë nga agresioni i radhës. Ministri mbrojtjes i Serbisë që përgatiti sulmin paramilitar për më shumë se një vit, mori ngritje në detyrë nga Vučići. Tani ai është kryeministër i ri i Serbisë. Presidenti AKS refuzoi të takonte për shkak të lidhjeve të tij aktive me Rusinë, shtoi Gërvalla. Gërvalla ka tërhequr vërejtje se Vučići po përgatitet për më tepër. Mos i besoni këta njerëz të rrezikshëm. Asnjë fjalë. Vučići po përgatitet, është i gatshëm për më shumë. Ka morale gjigante nëpër Serbi që thonë se ushtria serbe do të kthehet në Kosovë. Morale të tilla në një vend të tillë autokratik nuk janë rastësi. Përtitë më shumë ekspert parademrojnë se Serbia i ngjan Serbisë fashiste të viteve 90. Problemi i Vučićit s'ka të bëjë me asociacionin, por me vetë ekzistencën tonë. Për të asociacioni nuk është vegël për të lehtësuar jetën e qytetarëve. Është opsion për ta coptuar një vend të territorit tonë, tha Gërvalla. Ajo shtoi se duhet të flasin për rrezikun dhe që pasaj kanë frikë ta përmendin për luftën dhe si ta parandalojnë një luftar në Evropë. E nderuara presidente, duhet të flasim për rrezikun që disa kanë frikë ta përmendin e duhet të flasim të për luftën se si ta parandalojmë një luftar në Evropë, për të cilën disa thonë Putini mund ta ketë Ballkanin shënjestrën e ardhshme. Dora zgjatur e Putinit, Vučići vazhdon të mbrojë terroristët që udhëhoqën sulmin paramilitar të Serbisë kundër Republikës së Kosovës vitin e kaluar. Lideri i tyre Rajonit, një prej njerëzve më brutal dhe më të pasur në Serbi, jo i pasur duke trashëguar nga prindrit e tij pasuri për mand të krimit, është angazhuar në zhvatje dhe vrasje të qytetarëve serb të Kosovës, shtoi Gërvalla derisa bëri të qartë kërkesën që ai të ekstradohet në Kosovë. Kosova kërkon ekstradimin e tij. Ai është përgjegjës për vrasjen e zyrtarit ton policor, heroit ton kombëtar Toger Afrim Bunjaku. Këtë Gjuriç e di shumë mirë nga vitet e tij të shumta si dorët jashtë të Vučićit në luftën kundër Kosovës gjatë viteve 2013-2020. Gjuriç dhe Rajonit, vrasësi, ishin aleat në shtypjen e qytetarëve serb të ndershëm që dëshironin vetëm mjet normale. Gjuriç ishte kryesori kur Rajonit u angazhua në vrasjen e politikanit më të shuar serb Oliver Ivanović që u vra para derës së tij. Dhe Gjuriç takoi me të prap, tash së voni duke pirë kafe në Beograd me të njëjtin kriminalitet terrorist. dhe kjo tregon llojin e karaktereve me të cilët ballafaqohemi. Kush këtu është në rregull që të pjetë kafe me një vrasës brutal, ta Gërvalla derisa shpalosi dhe fotografi në një takimi mes Gjuriçit dhe Radojčićit. Para Gërvallës në Këshill të Sigurimit foli shefja UNMIK-ut Zia, e cila e paraqiti raportin 6 mujor. Ajo tha se situata në veri vazhdon të jetë e brisht. Zia tha se veprimet e autoriteteve të Kosovës në veri reduktuan mundësinë e komunikateve pakicë mbi të gjitha serbëve për të pasur qasje në nevojat elementare për fshirë shëndetësi dhe arsim. Paralajmëroi edhe se për rrezikun që paraqet hapja e paralajmëruar e urës mbi lumin Iber për qarkullimin e veturave. Zia ka kërkuar po ashtu një hetim të plotë të sulmit terrorist në Banjsk më 23 shtator të vitit të kaluar, ku u vra arreshteri policor afrim Bunjaku. Ajo e ka quajtur atë si të papranueshëm dhe një incident të rënd sigurie. Dhe ministri i jashtëm Serbisë Gjuriç ka kërkuar veprim të shpejtë nga Këshilli i Sigurimit. Kërkoi veprimin tuaj të shpejtë dhe të vendosur, tha Gjuriç.
I need to start by quoting, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes." President Obama said about fake news that even him, when he was president, didn't realize how susceptible we had become to lies and conspiracy theories, despite having spent years being a target of disinformation myself. We are living in turbulent times. Manipulation has become a key tool in an all-out war against free democratic countries. Let me just clear that there is no place in the world, in this globe, called Kosovo and Metohija. It is Kosovo, Kosova, the Republic of Kosovo, the Republic of Kosovo, but it would be the same as if I would now, every time I mention Serbia, start by calling it Kraljevina or some other names that I will not do. It is concerning to see what even experienced professionals are ready to believe, because they cannot or they do not double-check. They are too busy and often too superficial, just reading from stamped texts, not analyzing properly. What we have had to listen to here today are so many lies that it is sheer impossible to debunk each and every one in the short time we are here together. Most of you do have embassies in the Republic of Kosovo who confirm to you that not one single of Mr. Gjurić's statements is true. Let me be clear. Do not trust a single point like such crazy lies that citizens of Kosovo would not have access to health care, to bank account, or to local services. The reality is, we have many Serb citizens in the northern municipalities of the Republic of Kosovo gladly telling us that they finally can breathe freely, without fear, and that they can, for example, get finally their children registered in the municipality after many years. You surely know what you would imagine that China, United States, Slovenia, or Japan, or Switzerland would accept any foreign personal documents for their own citizens issued by a foreign country in a local municipality on their own territory, let alone that this illegal Serbian ruled over territory and the illegal Serbian institutions to constitute a more than a decade-long blatant violation of the 2013 Brussels Agreement, just one among the many Serbia is violating for the whole time. Parallel illegal structures before would not just not issue the necessary papers, offer only illegal ones from Serbia. That was systematic, that was illegal, and it was a clear discrimination by a foreign power, and we liberated our citizens from that oppression. After we established the rule of law, finally, the cry fall, and they lie about alleged discrimination. Look at this pamphlet from Serbia that I believe every one of the members of the Security Council has get in the last days. Here is what every one of these statements is simply wrong, because it treats Kosovo as being part of Serbia, what it is not. I use this occasion to showcase only one example, but there are many of them. It shall impress you by presenting an overview of, in reality, non-existing discrimination of citizens of Kosovo. One of these elements, not one single one, is true. They are all false. We establish something new, that is very precious for the citizens in the north, and that is normalcy. Fight against crime, the rule of law instead the rule of crime gangs sponsored by Belgrade. Normal municipal services instead of misuse of public funds. We just established what your established democratic countries are offering to their citizens: responsible and transparent public service. We will continue to protect our citizens and to widen the services they deserve, and which they have missed for so many years. Not only the people in Kosovo are fed up with the continuous Serbian lies. For a reason, Vučić is losing influence among Serbian citizens of the Republic of Kosovo. If they do not believe the lies and the propaganda, no one should. But that is only one aspect. Madam President, we need to talk about the danger that some are afraid to mention. We need to talk even about war, how to prevent a next war in Europe, of which some say Putin could target the Balkans next. Putin's proxy Vučić is protecting the terrorists who led the paramilitary attack of Serbia against the Republic of Kosovo on September 24th last year. Their leader, Rajonit, one of the most brutal and richest people in Serbia, not rich by inheriting wealth from his parents, but by crime, was involved in escorting and even killings of Serbian citizens of Kosovo. Kosovo wants him extradited. He is responsible for the killing of our police officer and national hero, the Sergeant Afrim Bunjaku. This Mr. Gjuriç knows him well from his years as Vučić's right hand in his fight against Kosovo in the years 2013-2020. Gjurić and Rajonit, the killer, were allies in suppressing decent Serbian citizens who just wanted to live a normal life. Gjurić was in charge when Rajonit was involved in killing Kosovar Serb politician Oliver Ivanović. He was gunned down on the street in front of his office. Rajonit is the main suspect in his murder as well. And Gjurić was meeting with him again, having a coffee recently in Belgrade with that criminal and terrorist. That shows the type of characters we are dealing with. Who else here is comfortable hanging out with a brutal killer? And because we started in showing photographs and not to leave any space for disinformation, so this is Rajonit, and this is the now Foreign Minister of Serbia, Marko Gjurić. Serbia's attack on September 24th last year was planned as a military invasion and annexation of a peaceful country with thousands of NATO troops. To make it clear, that was the first attack of the Putin alliance against a country with NATO presence. It's a test for the West, a test for more. And Vučić and Putin are not giving up. Therefore, we need first deterrence, then dialogue, in that order. Only with credible deterrence, peace and security will be safe. Because when Vučić, Gjurić, and others in Serbia say dialogue, they don't mean it. They are not interested in dialogue. They are interested in destroying the independent Republic of Kosovo, even by force. Nobody must be fooled. They have proven it, and they will try again. Therefore, Kosovo is thankful to NATO and our allies for increasing their troops in order to deter Serbia from a next aggression. The Defense Minister of Serbia, who prepared the paramilitary attack on Kosovo, for more than a year got a promotion by Vučić. He is the new Prime Minister of Serbia. EU President von der Leyen rejected to meet him these days because of his active connections with Russia. Vučić also promoted an old friend who is under sanctions by Western countries, but is the messenger between Putin and Vučić, some Mr. Vulin. He is explicitly anti-Western and pro-Russian. He was a close AD of Milosevic and laid flowers just some months ago at the grave of mass murderer Stalin before getting awarded by Putin personally. He is now the Deputy Prime Minister of Serbia. He is just on his trip to Belarus. Mr. Gjuriç, along with his successor Petković, was among the leaders of the violent attack against US Embassy in Belgrade that set on fire by a violent mob. Now he is Foreign Minister of Serbia. That is the Serbia of 2024. We are not talking about the 90s. We are talking about 2024. And this is just a part of the dark picture. Do not believe these dangerous people a single word you cannot check for yourself. All these developments are most concerning. Vučić is preparing and ready for more. All across Serbia, not only murals of war criminals indented or convicted by UN tribunal can be seen. Also, gigantic murals are surfacing since many months, which announce the Serbian army will return to Kosovo. Such huge murals in such an autocratic country do not appear by chance. Ever more experts are warning that Serbia is resembling the fascist Serbia of the 90s. Serbia has become the biggest threat to peace in Europe, right behind Russia. Both Putin and Vučić have a dark legacy, a legacy of aggression and genocide. Both of them need to be stopped, ladies and gentlemen. The problem for Vučić's people is not any association. The real problem is our sheer existence. For them, the association is not at all a tool to ease the lives of citizens. It is just another option for trying to break away a part of our country. Like Putin with Ukraine, Vučić wants nothing short
briefing, and I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Marko Đurić, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Serbia.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you very much, Madam President.
Of the United Nations Security Council, officials of the UN and Special Representatives Jade, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking you all for the continued attention in relation to the escalating crisis in Kosovo and Metohija. Faced with dire challenges to the safety and well-being of its people, Serbia remains steadfast in its commitment to peace, stability, and full respect for the principles of the UN Charter, Resolution 1244, and international law. As we navigate these challenges, I want to emphasize that Serbia is fully committed to building a prosperous future for all of its citizens. Speaking as a representative of Serbia, I can proudly say that my country is today a forward-leaning and responsible member of the international community. Serbia is a key European contributor to a number of UN peacekeeping operations from the Middle East to the Mediterranean and on the African continent as well. Having sustained a record high GDP growth rate for over a decade, Serbia has seen the size of our national GDP more than double over the course of the past decade. We are fostering a business-friendly environment that encourages investments and innovation. In December of this year, Serbia will assume the chairmanship of the Global Partnership for Artificial Intelligence, and in 2027, my hometown of Belgrade will host the Expo 2027 Specialized World Exhibition, creating new opportunities for the entire region. As part of the Open Balkans initiative launched by President Vučić, Prime Minister Rama of Albania, and the government of the Republic of North Macedonia, We have created a single regional labor market and are welcoming to our country people from across the region. Initiatives like the Digital Serbia project aim to integrate technology into our economy, promoting a knowledge-based society. As we build new industries and create jobs, we are committed to ensuring that no community is left behind in this progress. Sadly, the contrast with what is going on in our southern province of Kosovo and Metohija couldn't be more stark. As a series of UNMIK reports and recent developments reveal, in the past 2.5 years, the situation in Kosovo and Metohija has worsened significantly, with human rights abuses and unilateral moves by the regime of UNMIK-ut creating a climate of fear and instability. Today, I'm here to detail some of his regime's serious transgressions against the Serbian community and to appeal for your urgent, decisive action. And, as we shall see today, the real question facing this Council is, will we stand aside while innocent, ordinary people suffer, or will we take meaningful steps to protect the vulnerable? Firstly, this year, we mark a sad anniversary that cannot be overlooked. It has been 20 years since the March 17th pogrom in 2004, when 28 innocent people were killed and almost 1,000 more were wounded. It was a second wave of ethnic cleansing against Serbs, following the one in 1999, which led to the forceful expulsion of 250,000 people and more than 150 Serbian churches destroyed, leaving an additional 40 Serbian Orthodox churches destroyed on March the 17th alone. As I've already mentioned, the recent past for Serbs in Kosovo and Metohija has been painful and complicated. Given the recent past, it is even more devastating to consider the unbearable present that has been created by the regime of Albin Kurti for Serbs in Kosovo and Metohija. Since Albin Kurti's return to power, his administration has systematically intensified measures aimed at isolating and marginalizing the Serbian community. Imagine if your own currency was suddenly banned, pensions stripped away, and social support cut off. For Serbs in Kosovo and Metohija, this is not hypothetical. This is precisely the reality they are facing in Kosovo today. In September of this year, heavily armed special police stormed post offices in Serbian majority municipalities, effectively paralyzing daily life. Basic rights like registering a birth of a child or accessing welfare benefits offered equally to all by the Serbian government have become nearly impossible. Violence against Serbs has escalated sharply. In 2024 alone, over 90 attacks specifically targeted Serbian individuals and properties, with not one single perpetrator facing justice. Disturbing incidents involving children have especially shocked our communities. Recently, a child was attacked in North Mitrovica by a man wielding knives, marking the 16th such assault since Mr. Kurti took office. How many attacks must we witness before concrete action is taken? In northern Kosovo, the Serbian population faces a daily reality of crude force. Completely outside of any existing agreements, the region is governed by a mono-ethnic police force loyal to Kurti, enforcing policies through intimidation rather than consent. Adding to this, Kurti's administration has imposed ethno-nationalist Albanian mayors who were quote-unquote elected with virtually no Serbian support and hold no legitimacy whatsoever among the communities they are supposed to serve. Not a single % of support, and yet they govern. Meanwhile, Pristina's refusal to honor the Brussels Agreement, which calls for the establishment of the community of Serb-majority municipalities, has stripped Serbs of even basic legal protections. Just 2 days ago, in a public statement that yet again openly challenges the fundamentals of the dialogue process and the rule of Kosovo's own laws, Prime Minister Albin Kurti stated that he does not plan to implement the agreement on the community of Serb-majority municipalities at all. This is not only a rejection of commitments made under EU mediation, but a direct affront to this Council and the international community's authority. Interior Minister Celal Sveçlja, known for his documented violent attacks against EULEX just a couple of years ago, added to this affront when he stated that his administration has no intention of implementing Article 9 of the Brussels Agreement, which guarantees for the collective return of Serb representatives to the Kosovo police in the north. While not surprising, this open defiance is scandalous and undermining years of dialogue, casting a doubt on Pristina's willingness to build a peaceful future. If agreements once signed can be discarded and mocked at, what foundation remains for trust and dialogue? Additionally, Pristina's administration has taken steps that blatantly violate Kosovo's own constitution. The Serb List, a political party that overwhelmingly won in Serb-majority areas in elections that were upheld by the OSCE, the EU, and UNMIK, is being illegally denied the constitutional right to nominate representatives to government positions and Kosovo institutions. This denial of fundamental democratic rights further exposes the disregard for rule of law and democratic norms in Kosovo and Metohija. It also raises the necessity for the international community to make sure that there are safeguards